Hey, what is up, you guys? This is Steffi, aka In My Humble Opinion. I am recording with this mic, so it might sound a little different, but also I have very little desk space, so that's why I don't know where to put this mic, but she's just gonna be right here, delicately placed right in front of me. But in today's video, we are going to be doing what I watched Q2. So if you're new here, or maybe you missed this video the first time, at the end of March or beginning of April, I posted a video where I talked about what I watched in Q1 of the year. So that was January, February, March. And I talked about different movies and TV shows that I watched that I didn't necessarily talk about, review, cover on my channel. And that's what we're going to be doing in today's video. I'm going to be talking about what I watched, movies, TV shows, what I watched in Q2 of the year, so April, May, June, stuff that I didn't get to really talk about on the channel. I didn't review this, I didn't react to this, I didn't give my commentary of it. So let's open up my Notion here. So if you guys don't know, it's an organizational app, and I really use Notion for everything. This is not sponsored, by the way, but yeah, I use Notion for everything, including organizing what I watched. Q2. Okay, so I watched 13 movies. 7 of those were for the channel, so that's a little over half. So I'm going to talk about, just really quickly, some stuff that I, obviously didn't get to talk about on my channel. So the first movie that I want to talk about is a little documentary called Crack, Cocaine, Corruption, and Conspiracy that's available on Netflix. Because, just one random night I was like, let's learn about crack.
Crack is whack.
I learned a lot. It was very eye-opening. Harrowing, but eye-opening. The second movie I watched was another documentary called The Rachel Divide. How do you even describe Rachel Dolezal? She's this woman who is a pretty controversial figure. I would just say to Google her. She's a white woman who presents herself as being black. And when you ask her if she is white, she doesn't want to say that she is. It's very strange.
Are you African American?
I don't understand the question.
And honestly, the person that I feel the worst for, the people that I feel the worst for in this whole situation are her kids. Rachel being their mom really affects their day-to-day life, which you see in that documentary. So it's just sad. So, but on a brighter note, another movie I watched on Netflix is an animated movie called The Mitchells vs. the Machines. The Mitchells vs. the Machines is such a fantastic movie. I highly recommend you guys watch it. I believe it's by a very similar creative team as Into the Spider-Verse, Spider-Man. So if you like that movie, I really feel like you would like this one. But even if you've never seen Into the Spider-Verse, watch The Mitchells vs. the Machines. It's so good. A couple days ago, I finally watched Burnham Inside, which is a comedy special that was basically written, directed, starring, edited by Burnham. He did the whole thing. Oh, and he wrote all the songs, performs all the songs. Yeah, it's like a comedy / musical special. When my friends wanted to watch it on Sunday because we watch things together over FaceTime, I honestly just was not in the mood for a comedy special, and I was really sleepy. I can recognize that Burnham is amazing for doing all of that himself. I just think I wasn't in the right headspace or in the right mood to watch it. I'm gonna show a picture of myself during this little FaceTime session. So you could see my friends are smiling, and then there's me. I'm literally lying on my bed, and the reason why I have positioned my face like so is so that my friends couldn't see my eyes when they were closed, because I literally fell asleep several times while watching this movie. Again, so many people have said it's so good, I just wasn't in the right headspace, so there's that. 2 musical documentaries. I feel like, wow, I didn't realize how many documentaries that I watched over the past 3 months. That's the thing with me, is I feel like whenever I cover a lot of traditional narrative dramatic storylines here for YouTube, on my off time, I like to watch something that's not that. So I end up watching a lot of documentaries or reality TV. But yeah, so the last 2 documentaries I want to talk about are music documentaries about Michael Jackson. The first being Michael Jackson's journey from Motown to Off the Wall, and then the second being Bad 25, both of them directed by Spike Lee. The reason why I watched these two documentaries specifically in the month of June was because June 25th is Michael Jackson's death anniversary, and every year around June I always get in this Michael mode specifically. So I revisited these two documentaries for the first time in a couple years, and watching the Motown Off the Wall documentary just like further solidified that is my absolute favorite album of Michael's, Off the Wall. I will say though, I think Bad 25 is the superior documentary of the two. While watching Bad 25, like, they referenced so many different artists during that era, and I was like, damn, I wish I was alive for that era. Like, I truly, like, if time travel was a real thing, I would specifically go back to the year of 1987, 1988, and just, like, have a grand old time concert hopping, seeing all of my faves live in their prime. Okay, so, you know, I didn't really watch that much TV, honestly, for quarter two. A good chunk of these are reality TV shows, so every Sunday and Wednesday, I usually FaceTime my friends and we watch TV together. For the past 2 months or so, we've literally watched every single season of The Circle that's available on Netflix. So we watched The Circle France, The Circle Season 2, because we already saw Circle Season 1, and The Circle Brazil. We've seen all of the circles. We are circle masters. If I were to rank just those circles, Circle France is the best one. Then Circle Season 2, the American edition, that's our second favorite. Third favorite is Circle Season 1, and then our least favorite was Circle Brazil. But yeah, so there was that. Too Hot to Handle, another reality TV show, the first season. I know second season just came out. Yeah, after watching The Circle Season 2, there's a contestant on that particular season. Her name is Chloe, and I was like, who is this? Like, from Too Hot to Handle, I've never seen it. So after I watched The Circle, I went back and I watched her season of Too Hot to Handle, and wow, bottom of the barrel, very depraved, like, woo. Ooh, okay, so another show that I watched, this is like the one drama that I watched, is a show that some of you actually recommended that I watch, and some of you actually wanted me to watch on my channel. Fun fact, I reached out to Netflix trying to get a screener for this show, and they basically said no, so that's why I never covered it on my channel. But that show is Halston. It's Ryan Murphy's show about Halston, the fashion designer, and it's starring Ewan McGregor. I liked it. It's not my favorite Ryan Murphy thing ever. It's really a story about the rise and fall of a creative genius. I think an interesting facet to that story too was like the Studio 54 element, which interestingly enough, it was just announced like a couple weeks ago that Ryan Murphy's going to be doing a show about Studio 54. So that aspect was like cool to see, but it was fine, but it's not my favorite Ryan Murphy thing he's done. But I will say a recent discovery. I've only seen the first 3 episodes of this show, but it's a new Netflix series called This Is Pop. If you are a fan of those like old school VH1 MTV shows that were actually about music and pop culture, you will like this show. Yeah, it's a music docuseries, but each episode is about a very specific thing within the realm of music. So like the first episode is about Boyz II Men and like their rise, but then also their decline and like why they declined. Second episode was about autotune, and then third episode is about Sweden's influence on pop music. So if you are a fan of just like learning about music, pop culture history, watch This Is Pop. I cannot recommend it enough. I think it's like my favorite show that I've like recently discovered. And I mean, I didn't include this thing here, but I just want to say something that I've been recently obsessed with more on like a YouTube space is DJ Cassidy's Pass the Mic. Since I feel like I've brought up different music things in this video. DJ Cassidy's Pass the Mic. It's something that I discovered over the past like month or so. If you are a fan of like R&B soul music from like the 70s, 80s, 90s, and even the 2000s, look up DJ Cassidy Pass the Mic. You're welcome. It's so much fun. I'm obsessed. I'm like literally obsessed with him, and I'm obsessed with Pass the Mic. So yes, that's another thing that I really enjoyed. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I Hope you guys, maybe if you're searching for something new to watch, I know a lot of these were like documentary, reality TV driven, but if you're looking for something of that nature, maybe you will think of watching some of the shows and movies that I talked about today. But yeah, that is pretty much it. I will be doing another one for quarter 3, so that's going to include July, August, September. Oh my god, crazy. We're already like halfway into the year. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Make sure you like this video. Gotta give it a thumbs up for that engagement. I hope you guys are having a great day, night, evening, afternoon, morning, wherever you are in the world. And as always, everything I said was just my own personal thoughts and all my humble opinion. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!